Good luck, guys.
Good luck,
Good
everyone.
luck, everyone.
So, the goal for this first match is to beat the Niagara stage and the Mew stage, but not including the boss of Mew, whose RNG is just out of this world terrible.
Oh yeah, he was originally in the goal, and then I was talking to Feasel, and I was like, "Hey, about this thing," and you were like, "Well, it's it's early
kind of
on,
early on.
so you can reset if it goes bad." And then we did the tutorial for it, and the experts are like, "You can literally lose a minute just for nothing, completely out of your control." And we're like, "Oh, okay, let's rethink this
Not
a little
including the anecdote of me showing the boss to Dragon Dark at one point, and him proceeding to duck fist me for a minute straight,
Yep.
shooting the fist, just straight minute. Like we both stared there. I was just holding down, and he was just throwing fists. So like, I need rocks anytime.
Yeah.
Rocks.
So we rearranged the order of the stages so that the Mew comes last, and we'll just end upon entering the boss room and not actually fighting the boss.
Oh, there are splits. I actually don't know what the splits are.
Where are the splits?
Yes.
At the top of your screen?
No, I mean,
No,
like,
you-
what
Okay.
grade are splits?
Okay, I get you. I think entering the boss room and beating the boss, and then entering the next boss room. And the entering the boss room happens when the screen changes scrolling speed. You'll see when it's like in the slow scroll when that begins.
So, like, the boss is, like, completely invisible on my screen, like almost the whole fight.
So I've noticed that happens on some people with emulator, that the 30 Hz flicker will make things completely invisible. It's not just a problem on streams. I mean, streams are always like that for 30 Hz flicker, but some people have that problem with just viewing their own emulator window.
Yeah, we had people on Kickmaster who were like, "I can't see where the hell all
power-ups.
these drops are."
Yeah. But I don't really know how to fix that, honestly.
Yeah, I kind of did that fight kind of blind.
That's a pretty serious disadvantage. It's just I can't see the boss. Luckily, they're pretty predictable.
Well, let me explain the rules of this match, just for people who haven't seen the show before. The idea is these players have 30 minutes to do as many attempts as they can of this game. They're not doing the whole game, they're just doing the majority of 2 levels, and the goal should take just a couple minutes to complete. And they have that 30-minute period to do as many attempts as they can fit in that time, and at the end of 30 minutes, whichever player has the best time is the winner. As each of these players finishes the runs, one of the runs, they'll upload it to us, the input recording of it, and our timing referee, Arkhanno, is going to play the movies back and get the exact timing down to the frame. So the times that you see appearing in that box on the left will be the exact official times. But you can also take a look at these players' splits if you want to see the manual timing for a bit of a preview of what their official time is going to be.
And we have one run already, 2 runs already finished.
Yep, Toad finished a run, and Nasir just now finished and uploaded a run right here. So Ark is going to have those up in just a minute. But Toad's looking like just under 3 minutes for Toad, and Nasir's first run was a 3:24, give or take.
Yeah, it had a
Terrible
death
run.
just after. Luckily, it was kind of shortly after the launchpad checkpoint, but death all the same.
Yep. And usually we recommend trying to get something on the board, so it was, I think, a good move to just finish it out, given that he was close to the end. Just so there's something, because every now and then we have a situation where someone's being like a real perfectionist about their runs, and they finally get down to the end of the 30-minute period and they haven't put anything on the board. So it's good to at least get something up there.
Yeah, I particularly think of Dragon Dark when I think about that. He's very, very particular.
We've had a couple people who that was their strategy, was just to reset over absolutely everything, and it was a real nail biter.
Yeah, it's like you're either going to completely win or completely lose, and no one knows what.
Mm-hmm.
So, What's let's see. There's not really too much to the game. There's the pogo mechanic that is back from regular DuckTales that a lot of people are familiar with. It functions pretty much exactly as it looks. New to DuckTales 2 are these, you can catch rings in the background, and they have better hit detection than the ones in Darkwing Duck, so that's good. And
got the
you
skip.
can also... The golf swing is used in more places in this game, and it does different things. There are some
I accidentally
water
went
platforms.
to 4 splits there, so just give me a second on that one.
Well,
Oh, that's fine. Yeah,
yeah,
if you
that's totally fine.
yeah, as long as your recording is fine, don't worry about where your splits
Yeah.
are. But yeah, that's cool.
I'm just letting you know if it looks weird. That's all.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I'd like to point out that Nasir actually got the 1-frame Webby skip,
And then I threw
and
it
then he
away.
died. But I wasn't sure if anyone was going to get the Webby skip in this. I'll point it out when someone is coming up to it because it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it saves about 2 seconds, and it is basically you jump the frame that you touch the ground. I looked at it in emulator, like going frame by frame, and the input is done
There.
3 frames before you touch the ground. So your visual cue is not necessarily, you know, when his feet touch the ground. It's moments before, but then you factor in, you know, the way that humans are not perfect, and you know, maybe aiming for a little bit off the ground, and you can make it work. I think the DuckTales runners said they get it like 1 every 30 tries or something.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, basically you skip talking to Webby and save 2 seconds.
See right there, Nasir is at it right now. He didn't make the skip, and so you get that little dialogue that pops up. But he actually managed to get it a couple runs ago. So we'll see if anybody else happens to get it in a run that they keep.
Yeah, if 2 people have like really clean runs, but 1 person manages to get lucky, could be the deciding factor. I don't think it will be, but it's there.
It might. I mean, the players look like they've got these routes pretty optimized, but there's definitely some hesitation. There's some waiting, so there are definitely other places to go save
The
some
black
time.
screen for the boss split, right?
For the boss split, when it goes black, or when
Yeah.
did I say when stage clear or when it goes black? Let's see.
When it goes black.
To fade out. Yep, when it goes black. Okay.
Alright, cool. I was just trying to figure it out. Otherwise, I was just gonna go when I pick up the item because that's okay for me too.
Yeah, it's hard to hit the split at the same time you get the item because it's sort of complicated hitting the item and then grabbing it without wasting jump time.
Well, once I have the item, it doesn't matter. Control's over, so
Right.
I hate that jump swing.
Yeah, see what you're seeing in the top right here, this is actually, apparently this mechanic also works in DuckTales 1, and I had no idea. But when you do this golf swing, the way it works, you can do this golf swing by walking up to some object, like some solid object that you can't pass through, and you hold the D-pad so that you're walking into that object, and if you do that for a certain amount of time, you'll see his tail start to wiggle, and then you can press the attack button to swing your cane like a golf club. And you can use that to fling rocks at, you know, different places in order to reveal hidden treasures and stuff. There's all kinds of uses for it. You can use it to break open chests. But in this place, you have to actually start to do your golf swing and then jump as you're swinging. So you're doing like a in-the-air golf swing. What Nasir's doing right there. It's pretty hard to time, I would say.
It's awkward for sure,
It's awkward, yeah.
and it's completely intended to get through the level.
Yeah, you can't get by without it. And as it's someone pointed out the other day, it's like a thing where people who are blind racing this game often get stuck because it's, you know, not obvious that you can even do that.
Yep, 20 minutes apparently is the longest someone has just kind of just been there, like, huh. And there's these other rocks there, and you think, like, well, maybe I could shoot these rocks into the other rocks, you know?
Yeah, it's like some complicated puzzle. Or then you think, well, maybe there's some sequence item. Maybe there's an item that lets you break blocks that aren't on the ground. But no, there's not. It's just a game mechanic that you're supposed to figure out for yourself.
Nasir coming in with a deathless run, cutting a hefty 16 seconds off. Still 12 away from Toad, but definitely a much better run on the board. There's also, we're not going to see it in this level, but there is a mechanic where you can swing your cane and pull on things, and it's pretty much only used to interact with things where there's like no enemies around, so it's like, why even have it in the game? But
I think they just wanted to make the game feel like it had more stuff in it, I guess. But yeah, this, like, you pull cannons and you can pull things out from the walls. I don't know, it's just for the sake of advancement. There's not anything that you do to fight enemies or fight bosses. It's just like you reach a spot where you're stuck unless you pull out this thing from the wall, and then you can proceed.
Yeah. There totally couldn't have been a boss where the only way to hit it is to shoot cannons at it diagonally that you pull on.
Wow, well, we just had an update bomb here. Toad is now... We have the official times on the board here on the left. Toad is at 2:54, Rane at 3:03, and Nasir at 3:06.
Good stuff.
Yeah, good stuff.
So unfortunately, there's no way to skip these floating platforms that Rane is at. You just kind of gotta do the 2 golf swings, and it takes a while to charge up the golf swing, and there's no fancy skips to get around it.
Yeah, there's no raftless method or something. Too bad.
So what do you think about bosses in this game? Like, is it, as long as your execution is solid, you're pretty much gonna get the ideal kill, or
Besides
what?
the Moo boss?
Yeah, well, not the Moo boss.
Yeah. You can be pretty consistent with the other bosses. I mean, they have a little bit of RNG, but that's nothing you
Yeah,
can't.
this fire guys has like the W swoop pattern and just sort of diagonal pattern, and you can hit him twice, you know, if you're good. It's a little harder to hit him on the W, I think, but you can still do it. And also, if you have enough hits, which I think the players do because they're on easy, you can do kind of trading hits by just going up there, and you take 1 hit so that you have your invincibility frames, and then you just kind of bounce up inside him, and the game thinks you're gonna pogo him when you finally are no longer invincible.
Yeah,
so
this
it looks kind of messy, but it's fast.
is fast, and although this boss does have, you know, some RNG, its pattern is random. It's regardless of what pattern you get, you should be able to kill him in about the same amount of time.
I guess we can talk about that bridge section the next time someone gets there, because there's some... Well, I guess the waterfall part with the logs and these birds, there's a couple little bits of finesse that are required, as opposed to just the hold right or hold left, I guess, and jump with these birds. There's a couple spots where you can do a little right-left that you just saw Toad do, just to, you know, give yourself a tiny bit more time, otherwise you'll get hit by the bird. There's a couple birds where you can just jump right into them and damage boost, and it's a little easier on execution, and you really don't need the health, so I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of players opt to do that.
Yeah, because this is on easy mode, the difference between the modes is just how much damage you take, I guess, right? So easy mode means it takes 2 hits for every box of health. Every little dot of health you have takes 2 hits to remove. I think other than that, it's pretty much the same as normal mode.
I think maybe there are differences between easy and normal, but between normal and difficult, it's just a matter of health bars.
Oh, is it? I thought it was easy and normal that were the same, except for the health bars. And
Well,
then difficult
It's in the
had...
tutorial, so if you are curious,
I can't
you
remember.
can
One of the modes
simply-
had more than
Yeah.
just the health difference.
Yeah, and one of them is the same as
Yeah.
pretty much the same. If you're well, we have a DuckTales 2 tutorial on our Speed Gaming YouTube channel.
We sure do.
That I will link shortly in chat. It has a really stupid name right now because you need a certain number of subscribers before you get a name that makes any sense at all.
Right. Instead, it's like a huge string of random garbage. Excellent. Bring all the knowledge. Yeah, this is a really straightforward game to learn. I mean, I think if you're looking for if you happen to like Capcom Disney games, this is a great choice. I also like DuckTales 1. DuckTales 2, I think, was basically they left the good stuff in it, and they smoothed out a few things with the game mechanics. So I'd say that overall this is just a win-win kind of situation. I mean, they really did a good job with this game. The only bad part about it is that if you want the actual cartridge, it's pretty expensive.
Oh yeah, I think it's like in the triple digits.
I think it is a triple digits one. It is not a very common game. So,
And while the
I'm waiting
music
for
is
the
good,
day
it's not quite moon level, I'd say. Sorry, what were you saying,
I'm
Rain?
waiting for the day. I was waiting for the day that someone actually, officially reproduces old cards, just because it becomes such a money farm that it's worth it.
yeah, well, I've already
Not
seen...
just like reproductions, but like more official ones, I guess.
I mean, I think as far as official goes, I think Nintendo wants you to just buy them on Virtual Console.
Yeah.
But there's definitely people who are making repros of hard to find games.
Yeah, like
This is,
our good friend Gamer Ryan.
Mhm.
Remember him?
Yeah, Retro Gamer Ryan, talk to that guy if you need a repro made of something. He makes and sells those on his
Yeah,
website.
I mean,
really
he
good
started
question.
making
Sorry, let's finish talking about
Go ahead.
the carts.
I was just gonna say that if you're looking for something to get, I mean, Zombie Hunter's got a repro up there.
Oh, he made the repro of Zombie Hunter?
Yes.
Sweet.
Oh, thank God.
So now we can do the big Zombie Hunter race at HDQ.
Nice. I was just going to say we have a good question in chat by someone who I think is new. Why do they reset on small mistakes?
Well,
They the run that you can see their best times are in the 3-minute range, and we give them 30 minutes to get the best run they can. So, that's a lot of time to kind of craft the sort of perfect run or get close to it that you really want. And on top of that, DuckTales 2 is a somewhat easy game. There's no chance of dying to enemies. You can fall in a couple pits, but you're gonna finish. It's just about really optimizing and fine-tuning your time. And I think as we get to the end of this match and people get some times that are really clean, you're going to see them start to reset over smaller and smaller mistakes as they try to get that time down just a little bit more and a little bit more.
Just for me, because I don't have the stream up thanks to, limited internet. What's the timer at?
we're at 10:41 right now. It's the 10:41 warning.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to limit my use here. Like, thank God streaming NES emulators is really cheap when you don't stream audio.
Yeah.
256 by 224, 30 frame rate.
Yeah. Alright, so it looks like at this point, Toad's definitely got the lead at 254. Hasn't improved on that first time that he submitted. So he's definitely resetting over mistakes. We'll see if he manages to get another one in before the end of this period. But we do have a tight race for second place here. So Nasir was in third and then moved up to pass Rane by 1 second. So let's see if Rane manages to come back.
I think Ark might be still timing something because.
Oh, do we still have one in the hopper here?
Yeah, I just finished
Yeah.
timing plus 1.
Oh, okay.
And after that, I'm good submitting today.
Toad has been practicing this game as part of the next Big 20. Just kind of a fortunate coincidence that.
Well, he had double reason to play this game this week.
Yeah. Thankfully,
I
he
wish
had
I would have remembered
started
to look at the Big
practicing.
20 list first before voting this week. That might have been helpful.
Anyway, I don't think he had a serious advantage. Like he wasn't.
No, it
practicing
wasn't one that
for
he
it
had-
beforehand. And
That he had
yeah.
started practicing.
I didn't play until this week.
Oh my god.
I did light amounts of playing before the tutorial.
Yeah, well, it worked out nicely because we did make a tutorial of DuckTales this week, DuckTales 2 this week, so that, you know, could be helpful to the players if they watched it.
It was helpful to me. I didn't play the game before, so I need to talk about it. Need to know a little bit. So yeah, it was 2 birds with 1 stone.
Okay, so it looks like we do have an updated run from Toad, right? His time definitely went down at some point. I didn't see when it refreshed.
I need to watch his replays because I have no idea how he's saving so much time.
Well, there's a couple things. So this waterfall section right here, not stopping for that part.
There's lag on the bridge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's always
Is
a
there a
little
way
lag
to
on the bridge.
minimize that?
By waiting a couple of frames, or at least going back.
Yeah, I see that little rock
Forward
back
again.
move about halfway.
It's less laggy than doing the pogo, so it saves time.
Huh.
You can be a little more aggressive on the boss. Obviously, if you're too early, you're gonna drop right through him while he's still invincible. But there's definitely frames to be shaved there.
My boss has been largely invisible, so it's been kind of hard to fight him.
Yeah, I think it's also just lots of small optimizations, like coming off the vines at just the right time. Also, this thing about the pogoing is you have to already be in the air to pogo, so there are some times that you might waste some time just like doing like a pre-jump so that you can pogo. There are like little things you can do to shave time off.
Jumping down pits.
Yeah, jumping down
Physics
pits.
Mega Man.
Yep, it's a Capcom game, so you get a little Mega Man jumping going on.
What the heck?
There's also the webby skip.
There's the Webby skip. We'll see if anyone else manages to get that. I think so far Nasir's the only guy who managed to get it.
I've gotten it, but I fell. Too
Oh, you got it in
far.
one of these runs?
Oh,
Oh, that sucks.
yeah.
Alright. This is the weirdest chiptune cover I've heard in a long time. Yeah, it looks like we're seeing some more aggressive strats in this waterfall section now. I saw Rane was switching over to the no-stop strat.
Oh! I swear, one of these days, the fact that I'm using an Xbox 360 controller is going to come back and fight me.
I think my very first SGL episode, the only controller I had was an Xbox 360 controller, and so I had the USB thing for a SNES controller like in the mail, and I was like, oh, please arrive before the show. I do not want to play Quantum Fighter with a 360 D-pad.
Well, it's not a normal 360 D-pad, but it's a mini 360 D-pad from a third party. But it's still a 360 controller. So.
Yeah, another thing that was never obvious to me the first time I played through this was that to make these rafts move, you have to golf swing against the wall to give yourself a little push. That took me a while to figure out, too.
I think one of the helpful NPCs tells you how to do it.
Oh, you mean like listening to things that characters in the game tell you? No thank you.
It's too much effort.
That's what mashing the button is for. So you don't have to listen to what they say.
No, mashing start and A. You don't mash one button, you mash two.
You mash two buttons, that's right. Start and A, alternate mashing to get through the text.
Start to complete it, A to make it advance.
And then don't press start afterwards, because then you'll end up pausing it. See.
And then make sure you don't mash start and A too hard in between stages so you don't revisit the stage.
Right, that can happen, that's true. We haven't seen any stage selecting errors yet in this 30-minute match. But I imagine it has happened in practice.
Oh yeah.
Alright.
DuckTales 2 music is on Rainwave. It's coming up next.
Nice.
But it's up against something that someone voted. No, never mind. It got outvoted by the
guess we
person
won't
who
hear
made
it.
a request. Yeah, but then I that's probably good though, because then we'll probably would have got muted or something.
Maybe. DuckTales 2 doesn't seem to be as bad about the muting as DuckTales 1. Oh, by the way, we're at 2 minutes and 36 seconds left, so just under the time for it takes to do one run, so, factor that into your decision making. What is going to happen when the timer runs out is that the players will be able to finish whatever run they're working on, but they won't be able to reset anymore once the timer is expired. So we'll be in sudden death mode at that point, and I'm going to give them a little warning before that happens, so that they can do a reset before that point if they need to. But anyway,
Of course,
yeah,
the players will be like, "I'm gonna do it," and then like pit 2 seconds later, and just ugh.
well, that often happens. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, last chance. Oops, screwed up on the first enemy. But we'll see.
That's my last chance. I just played just to drag out time.
So yeah, we have Rain's. By the way, Rain is now in second place. He overtook Nasir by 1 second.
Webby skip.
Got the Webby skip though.
I'm sure I'll screw up something else.
Let's see if you can capitalize and get a super good run there. It's really hard getting off these ropes. I definitely struggled with it because I think as long as you're holding up, he just won't get off.
Yeah.
So if you're a player who, like me, has maybe gigantic thumbs or whatever, moving from your D-pad from up to right or left, I tend to also
Alright.
still be holding
Now
up.
think of this with like a normal 360 D-pad with kind of changed. I get a lot of downs and ups in my inputs. It's really
Yeah.
I'm
So
assuming
when
reset time's
you
over.
just end up just sitting there on the rope,
What?
just looking pretty.
Are we at last call yet?
No, we're not yet. You got another 35 seconds. I'll let you know.
No, I don't think I'm going to be able to get a Webby skip in 30 seconds. Unless I screw up right away, and then I'll get one more shot, but I don't think so.
Toad is 2 seconds ahead, which is pretty much the same run as before with the Webby skip. See if you can close it out.
All right,
Full
so
boss.
the time is now elapsed, or is now expired. So if you want to reset, please do so now. Okay. Window of opportunity is closed. So now the players are stuck with the runs that they are playing. Looks like nobody chose to reset.
Iron's over. That finger. Well, that one's done.
Oh, he died. Ouch. Ouch.
It's weird that the game lets you stand up, get stuck in the wall, and die.
Yeah, you stand up while you're under there and your head gets stuck in the ceiling and you get pushed right off it. That just seems unfair. Alright, but we've got Nasir who's fighting for at least second place. And Toad just finished a PB run, so that's going to be about a 253, just under 253. Nice.
Oh, crap. That's it.
Oh, that ring. Yeah, the rings are tricky. Trickier than they look. You were actually saying, Mythical, that you thought that these rings were better than the ones in Darkwing Duck?
I think so, yeah. The
'Cause-
Darkwing
I'd
Duck ones
agree.
are weird because you can grab them at different parts of the ring, and it's kind of random. But yeah, these are a little awkward still, for sure.
Yeah, once you grab the ring in this, it always puts you in a fixed location, whereas in Darkwing Duck, the spot that you touch the ring is where you jump from. So sometimes you can make a jump from a ring and sometimes you can't, based on where you're grabbing it. Alright, well, let's see. There was one more run that Arkhanno is timing right now, the Toad's final run. But either way... Oh wait, he just updated it. Alright, there we go. Yeah, 2:52:57 is Toad's top time. And RaneOfSOTN took second place here with a 2:59.2, and Nasir was just 1 second behind him with 3 minutes, .21. Alright.
Good job, Toad.
Yeah, nice going.
Thank you.
This guy must have spent all week practicing.
I got really lucky on the last run with the webby skip, and I got the 1 pixel jump on the plant on move stage.
That's the red plant that you'd have to jump over right before you go down that vine. Yeah, that is a tricky one. Cool. Alright, well, so that's it for DuckTales 2. We'll have another match for DuckTales 2 coming up a little bit later. Match 3 will be DuckTales 2 again, and it'll be a different goal than what you just saw, so we'll see some new levels. But for now, we are going over to Contra. Contra, for the second match, Contra's our mystery game. It was revealed to the players just 1 hour before the matches started, so they had that long to practice it, as opposed to DuckTales 2, which they had all week to work on.
And all 3 players ranked Contra as the highest game of the list we gave them.
Right, they really wanted Contra more than some of the other choices, which I thought were all great choices, so it must have been a hard decision.
Silence.
Yeah,
The silence of disagreement. I think there were some good games in there. Let me just go
A few
ahead.
games in there I haven't played
I'm not
at
going
all.
to read them out or anything.
Right. No, I actually went and researched it this time for... Normally I just, pick the games arbitrarily from the pool of things we have, but I actually looked back at what you guys had vetoed in the past to make sure there weren't any games that you'd vetoed that made it in this time. So they should all be ones, well, that you at least didn't put ranked last or second last on any of your votes.
Everyone actually had kind of like minds all the way up and down.
Yeah, there was a few exceptions where people really disagreed on the games, but those were only for a few of them. Anyway, so we're just waiting for the player... Oh, it looks like everyone's got their scripts running. And they're reacclimating to Contra. Sometimes it's hard switching between games with very different play styles, so it usually takes a minute to get your Contra legs back. All right.
Get your spread rhythm back.
Get your spread rhythm.
We can talk all about.
Sounds kind of dirty if you don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what do you think? Should we just start this match off, or
I'm ready.
Yeah. Don't even count it down. Just
don't even
yell
count it
it.
down?
Go.
Just
I
go.
hope you've already started because we're going. All right.
Got,
Let's.
25 minutes left.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, let's do it, I guess. Everyone ready to go?
Yep.
Yep.
Anybody not ready? Nope. Okay. I'm gonna count you guys down. 3, 2, 1.